Did someone just walk in? Greetings. I see someone just came in. Welcome. Googling something while YouTube. What? Live? Anybody there? Oh, left again. I see a person here. Hope you'll say hello so I know who you are. Now, we have a good 15 minutes, and I can't get I don't know how to get the camera. I forgot to click on the correct camera, so you can't see me. And I'm going to watch a short video to see if they'll tell me. Yeah, it's not going to work. Bummer. I see someone here. You want to say hi so I know who you are? Hey, George. I forgot to click on the right camera again. So I just tried to look at some YouTube stuff to see if it would tell me, and it didn't. I'm afraid to get out because it could kill the. I don't know if we've researched that or not, but I'm afraid it might kill the video. So I'm not going to do that. Not bother with the video, you mean seeing me? Don't bother with trying to see me? Or do you mean the whole thing? Okay, good. Hello, second person. I know George is here. Who's the second person? Second person doesn't want to say hi. I can accept that. I am, after all, a shy ghost. I'm so shy you can't even see my picture on the camera. I used to have Shygost as my license plate. I only got rid of my car a few months back, and I actually kept the license plates just because it was a fond memory. But when my son-in-law saw the license plate for the first time, he thought it was strange. He says, Shygost? I said, no, Shygost. But it says Shygost. It's funny. Ooh. Ah, 2. Okay, still 2. I do want to tell a story, but I want it to be with someone other than George, because George knows some of it. I had an excellent friend who gave me the Shusaku book as a gift, and a hardcover. You know, it's a large book full of the games, hardcover, very nice. And it's my favorite color, a deep maroon. And first part of the book is about his life. Oh, just so touching. And yeah, I haven't gone over all of them. Invincible, yeah. I didn't understand him much back then. I was 5 down at the time, and it's like, I don't really get it. Why is he playing these moves? Since then, I've gone back and looked at a few individual games. I'm understanding more. But no, I guess I'd have to say no, I haven't seen too much, studied Shusaku much. Now, Chris has studied, I mean, he's gone over all of them many times. I mean, he's seriously studied them, and that's a little scary. He's done a great deal of study. I'm shocked when I found out. What else we got here? Yeah, Chris is scary. Oh, and there's someone else named Chris. If I remember my nicknames right, Moostos is Chris, I believe. But hello, Moostos. We're talking about the other Chris, the 9-dan Chris. So far in my Patreon, the people who've come on, I feel so happy and grateful that these people are coming on, that I'm giving like hour reviews and special videos. I can't stop myself. Good. Oh, good. It looks like George left. I only see one person. That must be you. But he sent me an email, I think it was yesterday, reminding me of my, interesting. It only says there's one person here, but there's two of you. That's interesting. In that case, there could be 5 people here and we wouldn't know it. Anyway, it reminded me of my Shusaku number, which is 5. I believe it's 5. Because I played Iwamoto. And that just started bringing back a flood of memories. And I mentioned to George, I replied to George, I don't know Ilur number. What is an Ilur number? Urdosh, don't know those words, but still don't know. It means that I met someone who met someone who met someone who met someone who met or played Shusaku. Yeah. -4, that's a pretty small number. 4. So it reminded me of when I played Iwamoto, and of course we're going back 50 years. And so many other memories came forward. I mentioned to George that back then the San Francisco Go Club was played in a dilapidated building that they condemned a few years after because the building started falling down on passersby on the sidewalk. So they said, we better get rid of this thing. And it was just stained with cigarettes and old guys in there all day long, playing Go. And that reminded me of, of course, back then, no one had a computer. So wins and losses were marked up by, you put up a paper on the wall next to the guy's name, and winner and loser, it's written in red, Japanese red for winner and Japanese black characters for the loser. And I just remember my first tournament ever, I was there, was 4Q. And just remember seeing, because I was winning all my games, and this string of red, there was only 2 full strings of red across. And I was like, wow, it brought such a memory, in that tournament, it was 6 games, 5 or 6 games. And I'd won all my games, and we're going into the last game of the tournament. And walking up to the board, and the guy was already there, and he had this look on his face of, confidence would not be the right term. Pleasure. Hi, Bambi. I'll use the word confidence, not in winning, but in himself. He was very calm, and he sees me, he says, so, you're Kemper. That's my last name. You're Kemper. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Because of the all red, right? And so we had our game, and for 4Qs, we were playing really good. And I'd made a point in that tournament to just play strong. I was in the habit of killing things. So don't kill anything, just prepare. And I'd won all my games by capturing huge groups because they wouldn't defend, and they wouldn't defend, and they wouldn't defend. So eventually there was nothing to do but kill. So this guy, I was patient. He was patient. Anyway, I ended up losing, barely. It's an epic game. Anyway, in the middle of the game, towards the end of the game, is now tell a side story. Everyone wants slate and shell stones. That's what makes a good physical set. It's so slate and shell. It's even names of companies, slate and shell. And high quality shell is almost pure white with just little lines from the shell. But poor quality has many imperfections, which happen to be beautiful. Reds, blues, greens, you can see sunsets in your Go set, but they're distracting, so people don't want them, as it were. Anyway, this Go Club had slate and shell sets for everybody, but they were poor quality. So back to the story. We're in the middle of the game. I put the stone on the board. It was white, and it looked like a beautiful sunset. So in the middle of this epic game, the stone goes down, and many of the player, both at the same time, said, "Oh, what a beautiful stone." And we were both, it wasn't, "I'm going to beat you. Oh, I'm going to try." No, it was just a beautiful game. And we both noticed it was just a memory. Lots of memories from back then. Yeah, love for the game. Back when I was 4Q, you don't see a 1-dan coming by the club very often. But by the time I got to 1-dan, now you go to the bigger clubs, and one day a 6-dan walked in. Oh my God, a 6-dan here. We'd never seen a 6-dan. They had only been allowed for a couple years. Used to be 5-dan was the top amateur. Finally 6-dan, and then eventually 7-dans were allowed, but only in like a theoretical. Anyway, I met one of the first. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Anyway, 6-dan came in the room. We couldn't believe it. Oh, he was so strong. Nowadays, that's so ordinary. Even when I got to 6-dan, it was special. There were like, in California, I don't know, less than a dozen, maybe half a dozen, I don't know. Nowadays, there's hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. They're everywhere. Even 7-dans, even 8. It's just different world nowadays. We have about a minute and a half. I'm in California, about 40 minutes south of San Francisco. That's a little closer to San Jose than San Francisco. Those are the two cities everyone knows. Then we had a 6-dan in San Francisco who they used to play for money a lot. And he would play at a 1 stone higher handicap that he's supposed to for money. And I used to enjoy watching his games. He would play moves like, wow, I just couldn't conceive of what he was doing, you know. Okay, well, let's get going. So we look for things we can do as a group. And what we've been doing pretty much so far is we all talk about the moves that are coming up. How should we be thinking? And I just played 1-dan bot this morning, looking for, there's something I want to give to a student, and I'm having a hard time putting it into words. So this was an attempt for him. I don't know if it's for him or not. But let's take a look. Black is Crazy Stone 1 done. I'm white. Okay, nothing to talk about in here because they're all so, anything's fine. I decided, for the sake of the student, to not play this way because the black stones are working together awfully well, and I wanted to try to give him something that was easy to handle. So I chose this Joseki. It kind of breaks up the board more. He can't use his stones as well. From here, we all know these are all fine, right? For white. Notice I didn't mark C6 because that's the only small area. Okay, so there's no questions yet, just a matter of style. I went here, so I'll just style for both players. Okay, so here we have our first question. Someone give me, we're looking for ideas, not coordinates. What ideas shall we look at next? For any latecomers, you don't see my face because I forgot to click on the right camera button as I started. And it seems that if I leave and come again with the correct camera, it doesn't happen. So I don't dare leave. Looking for some ideas. Expanding, limiting the corner side extension. Did you just say area 1 is big? Aldrich? Aldrich. I like that name. Aldrich. Okay. And in playing the bottom, A and B are absolutely fine. They're both fine. They're both playing in the big area. Okay. So everyone's talking about area 1. No one has talked about area 2. Black has a pretty big, impressive wall there. Is now the time to deal with the wall, or do we think it's too early? I was debating that versus trying to use the wall to poke at the top. There, now what Moose Toast just said made sense of his previous comment. Yeah. So George said it well. C's pretty thick, just basically in a live group. So it's hard for black to develop that with white so strong nearby. And even more than that, it's not what you call a thick wall because there's a nasty peep there. And we're still in the early opening, suggesting that the bottom is biggest. Yeah, good. So I went this way. Now what? How do we decide? Well, there's two basic ideas, right? Is one of them better? He asks, looking for a response. And you're inclined to run because the two black walls can work together well. If I was going to try to finish that, give a reason why I would want to run. Any other ideas? Perhaps we should at least consider black has a wall, that might be a reason to not give black more influence. So 2 people say a wall on the entire right side is too good for black. Okay. So everyone agrees with that. And A certainly comes to mind. I went this way on purpose, which I actually consider better. They're both fine. Let's look at why. Well, black's getting the right. Black's going to get the bottom. White has to work to settle in the center. So we know center's hardest. Hey, Calcifier. Aldrich, Uda. Yeah, someone brought the Uda to me. Gosh, it was months ago now. I'm guessing it was months ago. And I found it really useful, but it's just a different way of looking at the list. And if I ever find myself confused, I go back to it. I will consider your statement. I will consider how to do more Uda. Not sure why I expected black to play M5 instead of Q6. M5, notice black A did not settle himself, and black B's in trouble, and white's having an easy time. And so perhaps if black played this way, well, now there's only one weak black group, and he'll live in the corner, and everything's fine. Why was black so concerned about the bottom? I don't think there's a reason to be concerned about the bottom. Okay, let's just play this out a bit. We'll just play a normal Joseki here. And what's next normal would be here. Black has to respond. So everything's fine, right? Yeah. But if we ask a few questions like, is white actually settled? Well, white doesn't have a base. White is very cuttable in a number of spots. Black did get the right and the bottom. How many points does white have in the center? Well, 0. So it's not like things are great for white. It's certainly acceptable. But let's look at the other way now. I went this way on purpose. First, I actually wanted to play this and then take my Sente to wherever in order to show this person how not to be worried about the center. But when I got to here, I go, well, we know coming out is better. So I should be honest, and it is a more obvious, straightforward way of thinking. So that puts us on this path. And like I said, A and B are both fine. I went this way. It's a standard pattern. Here, Q players might wonder, well, how do I press again? The idea is this is such powerful Sente, as is the next move. Very powerful. Yeah, we don't want to give that kind of stuff to our opponent, so we play. Now, we're the ones who have a super powerful move. Okay, so yeah, we press there. And now, are we done? Let's name the problems with white's group position, what's weak about it, and then we'll decide what we should do. So someone tell me a weakness, and if you think you should say why it's weak, feel free. P3, 2 serious cuts. M6, peep on top. Anything else? We'll look at what they mean and their consequences in a minute, but there's 2 more. N3, P3 is marked. Now the last one I don't expect people to get. So let's talk about the last one first. Okay. We had white push here because black's move is so powerful and meaningful. Okay. So now we ask, should we press again? If we do, black has 3 in a row. That's a bad shape. It's sente. Okay. We could count this as a power play, sente kind of thing. Let's look at the response. Let's look at black doing it. Can black do it? I can't hane. I find that severely limiting. I'm going to have to play here, and he gets another move. This is powerful, right? So I'm seriously thinking about playing again. So to me, D is totally on the table. It might even be double sente. It's that big. B, white didn't. What's the problem? Didn't hurt white. Black now has a weakness he didn't have a minute ago. If he's willing to invest an entire move extra, then he got something, but nothing too dramatic. So I don't think that B is something we're going to be concerned about. So I'm going to get rid of that. C is a double sente type. We'll keep that. D's powerful. A, something dies, right? If white saves the stone, that sente for snapback. I mean, since we're here, we may as well let's not. Let's just do it that way. I mean, white can't be cut apart like this, which means we have to give up the corner, which I would rather not do. What if play this way? Oh, so we have to play on, sorry, I have to play on this side. Okay, so now we don't need, white doesn't even have an eye on the bottom. So there's some real problems here. So A seems to be more dramatic than D. I assume we're in agreement about this. Black's cut at A is simply too much. Maybe someone has a different idea. I've been looking to get a couple agreements in here. Oh, I think George just said yes. Well, okay. People are agreeing. Okay, good. Now, let's look at, now this is UDA. Here's an UDA, aspect of UDA. We did the observation. We observe area 1 is really quite expansive and large, and black is prepared. Area 2, downright impressive. Look at that area. Holy cow, we noticed that going on. So that's step 1 of UDA, is to observe. And there's more things to observe. Second O in UDA is to, what's the word? O-R, organize. What's his face? Arctic? Oh, I see it. There is Aldrich. Remember the orient. That's the word I'm looking for. So as you start, I always think of it spinning on like a lazy Susan. You're like, okay, let's try this way. Let's try that way. Which one's the most important? What we're doing right now and the state of White's group is the important thing. Okay. Then we have the D, which is to decide. Decide what? How to take care of it. So let's look at the different ways to take care of it. A, 3. I want an A there. A does it. B does it. C does it. Of all of them, thank you, Mustos. All 3 do it. And I got to tell you, when I'm playing the game, as I was playing the game, I'm like, well, first of all, it's a little embarrassing. I did not even see A. It didn't cross my mind. C might be best. I don't know, but it didn't even cross my mind. So I'm going between B and C. Now C's nice. I'm in the corner. I'm threatening to come under this side, right, and rip that off. I like this move. Oh, I want it. I always like this. This is one of my favorite Josekis. But then I keep thinking of, well, if I do, I still don't have eyes. And his group is absolutely alive now. Yuck. I kept looking, is there some way to do this so I can play my favorite move here? I couldn't think of it. So I came back to here, which of course really hurts his A group. It's Sente against his A group. And I'm alive in the corner, which is nice. It's not that many points, but I like it. So I'm assuming my ABC explanations are making sense. I won't ask for a reply because that takes so long. So I come down, he comes down. I got to tell you, with all the walls out there, I want to ignore this so bad. But the idea was to show this student, just play basic moves. What are basic moves? Here's the areas you need to make decisions, this kind of stuff. So I respond. He did play this. It did play this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. As we observe, we can observe more than this, but during orientation, we'll come down to area 1 and 2. This is hard for me. They're both big areas. I'm not so sure that there's a wrong one and a right one. I started here, kind of as asking, and decided to come in. Okay. Let's take off these two stones here. And I'm finding a slight confusion. Once this black stone comes in, for some reason, the picture looks clearer to me. Once that is in and black is officially thick, area 2 to me looks twice the size of area 1. It's a little strange that here I'm not sure, but when I peep, all of a sudden it becomes more obvious to me. I don't know if I'm the only one, but with the thick wall, I'm thinking that right side is necessary. So if we went this way now, I don't particularly think that's a mistake. I kind of do, but I'm going to say I don't. But I went this way. Let's look at where this how to decide where this white stone should go. Now, I went over this with Chris in depth. And I'll show you my simple thinking, and we'll take it from there. Sente, I'm going to connect under. Assuming he stops me, I get out. These stones will be fine. He says, yes, this is all good and true, and this is acceptable. But white does seem a little slow, a little heavy. So, if we assume, if this is an invisible stone, thank you, James Kerwin, for invisible stones. If that one's invisible, where should the first one go? Well, either here, right? See this great connection happening? Or here. Same idea, right? We have a very pleasant relationship happening. So when I play here, thinking if he tries to take it, that's silly, I'll just come in. He's immediately less and less, right? It's just getting smaller and smaller, not a big area. And if he tries to attack me, which he did, just run home, and he's got nothing on the right. I'm on top of it, I'm underneath it. He has nothing on the right. I'm excited by this. I'm like, holy cow, you mean it works on so many levels? Hard to hurt the white stone, and it can enter in easily. So maybe the worst thing black can do is this. Well, that didn't attack me, so I don't have to defend. I can come in this way. Okay, he'll take some more points. That's fine. He got points, and then I'll play my endgame, and it's not big. Nothing to worry about. Okay, you guys have to tell me, does this make sense? And more importantly, if you see the invisible stone at A, could you find B? Now, I'm asking a rather pointed question about what you can carry into your next game. Yeah, look for the invisible stones and play accordingly. It's like kind of simple. And along with that, it just kind of excites me to have the sea stone there. Mostly, it's a little tiny bit of help. And by that, I mean a little tiny bit of help. But I'm seeing the D group as a stick. So all these pictures we're painting for white all leave black stick-like. Okay, I'm going to read some stuff. Mustos says there's an invisible white stone at S5 also. Oh, S. Yeah, A and B are both Sente. We tend to mark B because that's a deeper move that has, it's simply doing more. Like also C's an invisible stone. Yeah, even less meaning. So yeah, we would mark B. B's far from a lot of things. B suggests, oh, invisible stone, and then I'll threaten that, and then I'll somehow live. Yeah, it's kind of deep. That's why it doesn't come to mind right away. But this one, you can simply start there and you're fine. Okay, then I'm going to continue reading. George says it's very clear. Yeah. Let's remove the invisible stone. Now what do we do? I don't see anything to work with here. I'm going to draw a line here, right? We know this line. I'm going to try to have a straight edge and play on the line. That'd be it. Hard to attack, right? Almost feels a little deep. Should we play on the safe side of the line? Okay, now we're fine. There's nothing he can do now. But then he's going to get more points, which is his right. But then we get more on top. So it's always a give and take. But we did have an invisible stone. Okay. Is Q6 useful for white? Right. Slightly useful and commits black to being a stick. So let's say we don't do that. This is important stuff for 1 dawn on up, 3 dawn on up. Super important. Let's say we didn't make that exchange. And there's heavy action going on. And things are crescendoing, and white says, great time for this move. No, if you cut, I live so easy. Oh, he got more information and he could make a change. Here, do you really want to get cut right now with all these unknown things? So we make him commit. So he will be a stick later. Okay. This way. I used to wonder, do we come in? It's like he attacked you. You want defense. Is this defense? I guess not. So defend yourself. Get out. Out. Connect. I thought a lot about this move. Get some eyes. But then I'm thinking, I don't know. My group feels, let's say I have the gall to come in. I just didn't like it. So I decided to be nice and thick here. Get out. Okay. Is this an attack? Hi, I can never pronounce your name. Reswow. I'll go Reswow. I don't know. I'll just say that term. Is this an attack? Well, Could we run in this direction? Yeah, kind of nicely. So this is an attack. I like the idea of defending here. If we don't defend, oh, black's getting a nice black top area. So defend. And here my usual, my usual greed comes in. Great, I'm settled. I want to play away. There's so many things I want to do that are big. But isn't that Sente? Sure would bother me. How many eyes do I have? None. That bothers me. So I decided to, and especially with the premise that this is for a student I'm trying to get to him to understand basic play. But well, now you're fine, and that whole top area is yours, not his. That's a big difference. Okay, place here. Time to live. How shall we live? Any ideas? I'm kind of curious, people's ideas. He says, looking for responses. S19, life in the corner, nice and big. S12, if we can. It seems those are our only two options, right? There's other ways to live, but those are the reasonable options. Corner, if he plays first, he doesn't get any extra points. If we play, we're picking up 3-ish. In Gote. Okay. Next, when we look at a black move like this, we see the right is becoming big quickly. So if we can play this move, T6, yeah, that's one of the ways to live. We just lived in Sente. We can now walk away. Sure, he's going to reduce us by 3 points. Sente is way bigger than 3 points. Now, this is just a pattern to know. I mean, it's just something we see these corner patterns a lot. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. A life. What about the Atari? It just dies. What about here first? Atari, he can't save because of the 2 eyes. So this push is AI idea on a good way to live. In Sente. Yeah, very nice. Okay. It appears that we're okay and he's okay. Where to? So we're looking for big areas now. He says, hoping people will respond, naming large areas that they think might be biggest. He lives in hope. Bottom left. Area 1, big corner. Okay. C Area 2, we'll talk about that one. So the left, okay. The ones people haven't named, Area 3, and we can grow Area 4. Right? Area 4 is not small. That can be reduced dramatically. Area 3. Well, let's look at Area 3 for a minute. If we do nothing, let's do it this way. Big as we can go. Here. Here. That's kind of a big area. This should be on the map. Yeah. Area 2. Seems like Gote. I don't think quite to play and kill. Nah, no way. Not only that, it's too far from home. And if we go smaller, not very impressive. Yeah, we get it or black gets it, but it's double Gote, right? Corner. He got both. Don't like that. And finally, yikes. So there's a lot that can be done in a lot of areas. I decided that this kind of felt like Sente. Now that's an overstatement because it's not really. But how are we feeling here? Don't you feel just kind of sick to your stomach a little bit? Talk about us. I just felt terrible having such a small, tiny group. I didn't like that one bit. So that's why I went this way. It also is an alternative to this, meaning I'm coming in, stop me, and now I've got some great endgame there. So it's big plus big. Big plus a future. There's some coming in here, so I'll play this way. Done. He can't enter anymore. Then I thought, I'm going to take the corner. Corners are notoriously big. I took the corner with A. I'm taking the corner with B. Is the corner mine? No. Too much Aji in there. Let's clean it up. How's his group? It's not ready to die, but there's some uncomfortable things in there. So, place this way. I didn't think this was Sente. Come into his area. So I got all the big ones. He got the left, which was a small one, and the top is undecided. Then, boom, 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 threaten to cut. So I do it in Sente. Come on in. Gosh, he got nothing here. Gote. What's that about? I decided to cut here. I'm seeing, hey, I'll capture the A, or I'll capture 2 stones, or I'll play what's he going to do? He has no eyes, right? The entire black group there is in question, and indeed, a lot of it dies. This way, on out, threaten, connect. His entire black group is surrounded. I find this very interesting how these things happen. Boom, boom, boom. What's that? That's a weird one. Sure, happy to do a peep. Peep again. It's dead. I have a weakness here. I'll threaten to kill the whole thing. Nope. Okay, I'll just cut and kill. So this is the thing about aiming. Let's get back to the cut. Why am I cutting here? Cut. How come? Stop at. Ah! Game went away. Let me bring it back. It's this one. Just a second. I have to stop sharing and then reshare that. I brought it up again. I clicked the wrong button. It all went away. Okay, so the cut. I'm aiming. I don't know how many chess players are out there, but in chess you use the fork. I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. So here, if I capture the A stone, how many points is that in the center? I mean, that could be an extra 20 points. It's a huge, I'm preparing a very large center. Maybe I'll just get the B stones, maybe, and then actually the whole C group. So I start on a road that has many good options. And I'm not in the slightest trying to say, oh, what great moves I'm playing. No, I'm saying this idea, not this move, but the idea is something you want to put into your own game, where you're saying my move has multiple purposes. Boom, 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 boom. I was so ready to cut here at A. And actually, the reason I didn't read it out. Instead, I recognized my bloodlust. It's like, I know that feeling. If I go in this direction, I'll either kill everything or I'll lose the game. And this was nice because I'm doing it for a student, right? It's like, so what do I want him to do? Calm down. Play the strong way. Oh, nice and strong. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And then we go through this, and that dies. Okay. Just simple death. And it's dead, right? Nothing else to do. There is something to do. I read it, and I'm not positive I ever got to the completion. But check it out. Well, Atari, white can't save. Okay, glad I caught that one. So I guess we need to play here. Uh-oh, can't save. Ah. So fix. I almost didn't see it, but there's a nagging suspicion. That's where I decide where to look. A few moves black. Why did black play H6? There's a very specific reason why. One dons aren't very strong. So the programmer, to make this guy play at one dun level, had to limit something, limit the amount of time, limit which things it has access to. So just because one dons play surprisingly poorly. What else? Boom, 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 death. He plays here. Still dead. Death in Gote. I've been using that term for over 50 years. Death in Gote. It's like this amazing concept. Okay, my move. I'll play here. I'm dead. Now it's your move. It's like killing yourself, you know? It's like you're dead, but you play anyway. Okay. So I decided to come in here because I don't know. How about this? There's Aji here. What about the cut? I don't know. I feel unfinished there. So I thought, well, I'll come out, make some threats, get my, more liberties. Then I'll do my center thing and more of a center thing. Check out A. I'm doing the area 1 idea and I'm doing the area 2 idea. Problem is, there's quite a few weaknesses around here. So, black, am I going to let him in again? I can't. I have to stop him. I can't. So he cuts me. Bummer. Now I get to use them. So his capture isn't large. As a matter of fact, that he has some loss along with this. And then we're in endgame. And before long, he has to resign. It's actually a little bit, his resignation point is a little bit important. Here, I play this way. But check out the problem. My A group. Well, there's a lot of ways to answer this. First of all, I can just kill him first. Second, I can back off. It's a lot of answers, but it's weak. I didn't even notice it. Didn't even notice my own weakness. I can't tell you how stupid that makes me feel. We all play some in-game. Finally here, kill the group. I finally realize, oh, I noticed the options to this group are getting less and less. So just out of habit, I looked back and made sure I was fine. Oh my God, I'm not fine. That's when he resigns because there's no hope left. Okay, guys. I want to remind you that we really want this to be a group activity and not just a review. I know I get carried away and start reviewing. Can't help myself. But if you have ideas, things that can make it more, how to get people involved, formats that get people involved more, please send me an email. Also, feel more and more free to speak up. Recently, my students got together and bought me the present Lessons with a Professional. You might be shocked at the questions I asked him. Simple, little questions. Questions where I'm like 80% confident that, more like 80% depth. Like, oh, I know this move very well, but I don't know it all the way well. So he would explain it to me more in depth. Oh, okay, now I can use that move better. Or between these two moves, they're both good. Which one's better? They were actually rather stupid questions. And at first I was a little embarrassed to ask them because I ask very simple questions. But he was so patient and he didn't care. He said, I'll answer anything you want. He just sat there, answered my silly questions. So to me, stupid questions are extremely valuable. So don't be afraid of that. Okay, we have 10 minutes. What shall we do for 10 minutes? I do not know. I'm quickly going to look at a game. Is this it? No, come on. There you are. I guess we did a review of that one. But not everyone's seen it. Gives us something to do. Stop that. Then reshare with this one. So this is just us wasting our last 10 minutes looking at a game. This is me and George's. He's, you see his name there, George Hadow. I don't know if it's Hadow or Hadow, but I say Hadow. And he beat me 3 times in a row with 4 stones, so we went to 3, and this was it. It's always exciting playing him. He's getting better and better and better. It gets harder and harder. I had a 3-dan student for a long time. Shadow Haddo. I did not know that. Haddo. And he would play the same opening every single time. I mean, since we're here, I just have to show it. Right? Every time. Boom. Dozens and dozens of games. He got to learn this so well, it became very difficult to beat him even because he knew this opening so well. It's like, ouch. And now with George, getting harder and harder. I went ahead and played my opening. After George and I reviewed this, I reviewed it with Cawtrain. And Cawtrain says stuff. It's a little hard to get used to. He says, just, play your corner. It's like, what about the 2 stones? They're fine. They'll run out. There's not a problem. Go play a big move. Man, hard. Of course, I'm going to play the same move he did. Come in. Yep, settle my group. He mentioned in review that this black move, he's seen it 100 times. It fits the board obviously well. He had just never played it before. He's a little nervous. Hey, Chris. I know. So, and he plays here. It's a great time to see Chris because there's some questions. So George and I are reviewing, and I'm thinking to myself, just playing away has to be okay. I mean, it's a big move in a big area. I mean, is there a problem here? And this is uninteresting for White, right? White doesn't want to build the bottom. So that seems fine. And I said, if I was going to play his move, I would play it here because the Aji doesn't seem serious in the slightest. And it seems to be doing more. So Cawtrain went along and says, no, it needs to be here. Chris, do you know why? I mean, I hate to say, do you know? I can't give you control. Am I in? No, I'm not even in KGS. The push has some Aji in the corner. You just said A brings up B, which has a big effect over on C in the corner. Well, I don't know how to give you access to what we're looking at right now. Okay. That's what I figured after Cawtrain said that. I go, well, the only reason is for the reason George used it, is B so powerful. Okay, I was wrong. George was right. Again. And here I'm like, with the thickness of A, I'm immediately concerned about the left. The feeling is one more move, I won't even be able to enter. So I thought I'll come in. I'd love to sit for the next half hour and just hear what Chris has to say about all this. But we did our deal here. I'm thinking double Hane. I don't recall what Cawtrain said, but George went here. Thickness to the outside. So it was very thick to the outside. Okay. And now I would play what George played, which is here. I love this move. So thick. But Cawtrain said, no, go do something else. Go start building the center. Okay. At this point, I look at that center, I'm terrified. Not one white stone on the entire half of the board over there. Nothing but fourth line strong moves. Kotico learned it for me. So I thought, any normal move, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid. So I thought, okay, I want something center that's not going to die right away. Okay, let's settle. I thought that was a patient move on his part. Now, I don't want to settle my group because it's Gote, and I think Black's going to catch up on points super fast. So I decided to come out into the center. Cawtrain says, what are you, stupid? Play here. And I said, yeah, sorry, I'm pretty stupid. He says, still come out this way. Really? Why wouldn't I play this way? Now, the reason I wouldn't, because I'm getting beat up right and left here. This really hurts. And he gives me Sente. Up into here, I think I'm losing ground rather than gaining ground. So I go for the fake net, get my Sente, and then the net. And Cawtrain says, no, just keep pressing, for goodness sakes, obviously. I was just so happy to capture. Yeah, that's a big move. Now, this white group of mine quite possibly should have died. That's just one eye, and I still have black all around me. I was pretty concerned. Here, I didn't want to form a second weak group. I thought I'll just live in the, I felt pretty lost here. He said, no, I'm not going to get cut. I'd rather have center thickness. I thought that was fantastic. And this move, I thought was one of those moves that I don't know how to say it right. Can't be 100% value, but has to be awesome. Something like that. It's like, what does it do? Nothing. But what does it do? Everything. It's like the ear reddening move. It's like doesn't exactly do anything except everything. This move really scared me. And we're out of time, but let me show you the last move that scared me. He takes the corner. I've used that Aji to live in the corner. This move, oh my God. I thought, okay, he's won the game. If I can survive, I'm end up with one more point here, and he's going to get a bunch of black stones. I thought that was game over, and I think I'm right. I don't have two eyes. To make that a reality, he has to let me run. But I'm running, yeah. So we'll stop there. But it was an exciting game and interesting to see some things. Okay, guys. Remember to send in games you have questions on. We can spend time with the question and answer stuff. Any other ideas, feel free to send those in. Also, we've got our Patreon page, which this is the free version, which is once a month on Wednesdays. And then we have the paid version, which is once a week on Saturdays, Patreon. Thanks for those who are coming on Patreon. It's really fun having you there. And any other information you want to share, just feel free to email me. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. See you all later. Bye.